It's been a pretty good 24 hours for the Phillies. 2 Braves losses and a Phillies win, and now the Phils go for a series victory tonight against the Miami Marlins. NBC Sports Philadelphia, home of the authentic fan, presents Game 3 between the Phils and the Marlins. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with John Kruk. All right, so the offense is set up tonight to try to get some runs early against the Miami Marlins. And with that, Justin Bour is starting at first base, and Carlos Santana is starting at third base.
Well, he has to use a different glove, but let's hope he brings the same bat that he did last night and what he's done the last handful of games for the Philadelphia Phillies. When they've needed offense the most, he has come through big time. Here's a grand slam off of Gio Gonzalez last week against the Washington Nationals that helped the Phillies to a win. And then last night, batting leadoff. He leads the game off with a home run to put the Phillies up, who have been struggling to score runs. A great sign when your leadoff hitter can give you a run the first batter of the game. And Asdrubal Cabrera came through huge last night, and he's been really good since being traded from the Phillies. 2-run double right there, and then this long upper deck home run to rival his buddy Carlos Santana's home run in the first inning. An upper deck shot. Tom, if these two guys continue swinging the bats like this, the Phillies are going to score their runs, and if the pitching holds up, we got a great chance of catching the Braves.
All right, so these are some of the numbers. Last 10 for Cabrera, last 19 for Santana. Look at the OPS for both of those guys during this stretch of time. Now, you mentioned the starting pitching. Last night it was Jake Arrieta who did a nice job striking out 11 hitters and also limiting the damage. Tonight, it's going to have to be Nick Pivetta.
Yeah, and Nick's got to get back on track. He has great numbers against the Miami Marlins this year. 2 starts, you see the numbers, 1-0, ERA of just over 1.5. Against the Braves, he's been really good, too. I think he matched up against Fultonevich every start this season against him, but he has to pitch a game tonight to keep this Miami Marlins offense at bay. And this is how he has to go about it, Tom. His last start against the Marlins in Philadelphia in the Powder Blues, the breaking ball was on display, the high fastball to get swings and misses, another high fastball that Anderson just couldn't get on top of. It's a grounder to Santana, and then the breaking ball. The secondary stuff, we always talk about Nick and his secondary stuff. If his secondary stuff's as good as it was in this start against the Marlins, he's going to have success against his team tonight.
All right, so the Phillies looking for a series win for the first time in a long time on the road here tonight against the Marlins. So it'll be Pivetta on the mound against Alcantara. When we return, we'll go to the NBC Sports Philadelphia studios. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. By Toyota, tested, trusted Toyota. Let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com.
Major League Baseball, many Philadelphia sports fans probably tuning in to watch the Braves and the Red Sox today. The Braves jumped out to a 7-1 lead in this one, but then, well, it all fell apart for Atlanta. It's T-Mobile, built for baseball. We pick it up in the bottom of the 8th inning. This is Freddie Freeman. After the game had been tied 7-7, he comes in as a pinch hitter, hits a solo shot. The Braves retake the lead 8-7. You think they're going to escape, but then how about Brandon Phillips playing in his first game as a Red Sox this year? A 2-run shot to put the Red Sox back ahead, and they go on to win it 9-8 today in shocking fashion. So what does it mean? Well, Phil's gain a half a game at this point, and they could close it with a win tonight here in Miami. Close that lead with Atlanta to 2 games as they head to New York for an off day tomorrow. So the clubhouse guys were all watching the game as that one ended, and it erupted in, well, quite a bit of excitement as the Phils watch the Braves go down today. So now the Phils got to do their job and take care of business tonight.
Yeah, coming into today's action, into that Red Sox-Braves game, Major League Baseball teams were 0-487 when down by 6 or more heading into the 8th inning. And of course today the Red Sox changed that. All right, so here's Carlos Santana to lead it off. It'll be Santana, Bour, and Cabrera. 1, 2, and 3 for the Phils. Santana's average up to 227, 21 home runs, 79 runs batted in. This is the 129th game as a leadoff hitter in his major league career. And he takes outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Can we get a start like we did last night?
It would be great.
Yes, it would.
Facing young right-hander Sandy Alcantara, who is 6'4", 170 pounds. He is 22 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Signed as a 16-year-old by the Cardinals, traded to the Marlins as part of the Marcell Ozuna deal. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. And this is what the Phillies had hoped for. He has a live arm, but he does have a tendency to be wild. I mean, look at his one start last week. 5 walks in 5 innings of work. There's a strike on the outside corner, 3-1.
I mean, this is a situation with Santana right here. You just look for one spot. If he doesn't throw it there, don't swing.
It looked like he threw something a little softer there at 95 miles an hour. Previous pitches had been 97 and 98.
2-seamer.
Well, he throws his fastball 64% of the time. He's got a slider too. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Santana. Inside ball 4. So objective number 1 for the Phillies, which was to maybe work out a walk or 2 in this first inning, is paid off. And speaking of walks, time now for our Nissan upgrade to the technology of tomorrow today. And the walk rate in the National League, Carlos Santana's 3rd at 16%. Bour is 5th. Cesar is 7th, and Rhys Hoskins is 8th. And you couple that with the fact that these guys take a lot of pitches. There's a bouncer over to first base. That might be 2. Dietrich to second for 1. It's dropped at second base, so Bour is safe at first. Boy, that was a surefire double play. And now the rest of the Phillies lineup. Brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. After Bour, it's Cabrera, then Hoskins and Williams. Hernandez hits 6th. Alfaro, Pivetta, and Roman Quinn round out this lineup for the Phillies.
You think this is a situation? I didn't ask Gabe when I saw him today. Is this one of those where he gives Ramos today and he gets tomorrow, so he gets 2 full days of rest?
I think that's what it is. He does want him to. He does want him to catch on Friday. Although the only oddity with Friday is, John, is that Noah's pitching, and Noah's had done so well with Jorge Alfaro. As Cabrera takes outside, it's 1-0. Cabrera 3 for 7 with a couple of home runs in this series. Hitting .266 overall with 23 homers and 72 runs batted in. And a bouncer foul. Ooh, couldn't hang on to that toss. Cabrera with 57 extra base hits. His career high is 60 back in 2011. There's a strike and it's 1-2. He has 8 home runs here at this ballpark.
It's amazing.
What's that?
2 strikes, and the third baseman Rivera was playing third base.
Oh yeah.
Now he's at second. Castro's moved over.
In the dirt, 2-2.
I think I'm glad I played when I played. I don't think I could think that much.
As the hitter or the fielder?
I'd get confused seeing people just run around without a pitch being thrown.
It's the changing face of baseball.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Over to the right side, slowly hit. They get 1 at second and turn the nifty double play. And it's going to go down as a very strange double play.
I think they want to see if Rojas was in contact with the base.
Well, Gabe looked over at Bill Welke and said, hold on a second. And Welke's saying, no, you can't take a look at it because everybody was gutting off the field. Wow.
So what?
All right, now Bill Welke's going to go over and talk to Tony Randazzo, and Randazzo, I believe, is going to tell him that they did say they wanted to look at it.
I don't think Rojas is on the base.
He's not on the bag. At least right there, he doesn't look like he's on it.
I think I would look at that. All right, so now we're going to talk it over with all the umpires before we get to the replay.
And then if Rob Thompson says, yeah, don't worry about it, then Gabe can just wave it off. I don't think we've seen this year where the umpires have not allowed the team to take a peek at it. And now Bill Welke will come over and explain to Gabe Kapler. They're holding several of the Marlins over in the third base side. All right, so they are going to look at it. So the Phillies must have a definitive view that says
they're calling the Marlins back out.
Yeah. There's really not much that Don Madden can say, but I mean, they have to let them look at it at this point.
I mean, are they looking at first or at second? Because I mean, we saw it looked like Rojas was off the base.
Well, I didn't even think about first, John. I was looking at second base.
Yeah, I was too.
Well, Welke's the home plate umpire. He's also the crew chief. It's not in the glove yet, and his foot is off the base. Back in the day, that would be called the neighborhood play.
Without a question.
His foot is well off the bag. So Bohr is going to be safe.
If they're appealing that, or are they appealing the play at first?
Well, I think they go through all of it. All right, so they're going to point to second. He is safe.
Yeah,
they're going to point to first. He is out. So there you go, John. They were looking at both. So the inning will continue. The putout goes 5-6-3 at first. Gabe did put his hand up right away, but Bill Welke just didn't see it. All right, so a runner at second base, and Rhys Hoskins is coming up. Now Contra is throwing some warm-up tosses.
Probably thinks we're in the second inning.
Does feel that way. He wants one more warm-up. I don't know how why would he need that much? I don't know.
Maybe because all the other ones would have hit Reese if he was in the batter's box. He's trying to figure out a way to get it away from him.
All right, so the inning continues here in the top of the first with Reese Hoskins. 0 for 5 with an RBI in this series.
Tough one.
Yeah.
Got to talk to him about it today. I said, I had a feeling that guy was going to hit you because he had no command, and they're trying to pitch you in.
Down and away, 1-0.
And he said, when I hit the dirt, once I realized it didn't hit me in the face, I was like, okay, I'm all right now.
And it truly,
yeah.
I mean, he turned in and it hit the shoulder.
Yeah, he did everything correctly. Got it off the shoulder instead of the face mask.
1 ball and no strikes with Bohr at second base. And a fastball, 1-1. And another fastball for a strike. Throw to second. Knocks Castro onto his backside. And it's 1-2.
Little smirk on the face of JT Realmuto, his old buddy, trying to throw behind him. You know there's nothing more he wants to do than score a run right here. Maybe even a little slide into home.
Swing and a miss. A sinker at 97 and the first strikeout of the night for Alcantara. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Pivetta going to work. Half of the first inning. Now let's take a look at the Marlins lineup. Brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. Ortega leads it off in right field, then Starlin Castro. JT Realmuto is finishing up the last month of the season strong. Last 10 days, .393 with 4 homers and 8 runs batted in. They will face right-hander Nick Pivetta. Pivetta 7-10, an ERA of 4.66. The first pitch is in there. It's 0-1. All right, so this alignment defensively with Carlos Santana at third and Bohr at first. Gabe says they've been working on since Bohr was acquired. And Carlos, if you've watched any of infield work before BP, has taken a lot of ground balls over at third base. He's also taking some fly balls out in the outfield.
Didn't he play some third base with Cleveland?
You know what, John? I believe he did in the minor leagues. I mean, he was a catcher with the Dodgers. Went to the Indians.
I thought he played some with the Indians, too.
He's played 2 games there this year, but very short stints. Last night, and then the game against the Mets up in Williamsport. The 0-2 pitch to Ortega, and a breaking ball just a bit high. But yes, he has played games at third base with Cleveland. He played 28 games, I should say 26 games with Cleveland back in 2014, and then the 2 games this year. Over towards Santana, his first action. And everything was clean except for the throw and the tag by Bohr. That's okay. 5-3 on the putout.
It's like we drew it up.
That's exactly right.
I was talking to him today about playing third base. And I said, it's pretty simple, right? They hit it, you catch it, you throw it. He said, yeah, it's easy. Just got underneath that throw a little bit and sailed on him, but thank goodness it gave Bohr plenty of time to catch, come down, and tag Ortega to keep the leadoff hitter off base.
So 1 out, and here's Starlin Castro. Castro is 10th in the National League in hits with 152. He has surpassed last year's total with the Yankees. His career high was 207 hits in 2011. He is 2 for 8 in this series. There's a liner out to center field. Roman Quinn glides over. That brings JT Realmuto to the plate, who provided us with our giant home run replay last night. In fact, he had 2 last night.
Yeah, Jake said he made 2 mistakes the whole night. Both of them were to Realmuto. And that one there was a long one, but you know, hey, 5-run lead, you give up a solo home run, who cares? I'd like to see us give up a solo home run tonight in the 8th inning with a 5-run lead.
Seriously. That 5-run lead, by the way, the Phillies winning that game by 5. Phil's won by 5 runs for the first time since August 26th, and only the 3rd time since August 1st. Everything else has been tight or tighter. Oh, 0-1 to Realmuto. 0-2. I like the life on Pavetta's fastball in this first inning.
Yeah, it's getting there, coming out of his hand really good. Let's see if the breaking ball is, Tom.
Off the hands, out to short right. Saves are on the run, and he puts it away. And a 1-2-3 first inning for Nick Pivetta. We'll head on to the second. Nick Williams will lead it off when we return. At 3, kick off the Eagles season at Xfinity Live. The NBC Sports Sunday Night Football bus will be there. Plus, there will be loads of freebies, live broadcasts, and giveaways just for our authentic fans, including a chance to win a commemorative Super Bowl 52 football. Nick Williams will lead it off. And Williams takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Nick 1 for 6 in this series. Outside corner. 0-2. I didn't think that was a strike, John.
Didn't look like it from up here. Looked like it broke around the plate.
That one's out toward right. Not that deep. Ortega started back, now comes in.
Not been getting many good swings off this young man just yet. Got a live arm, though, doesn't he?
He does. You know, I mentioned they acquired him from the Cardinals in the Marcell Ozuna deal. Earlier this year, he was very vocal about the fact that he was still in the minor leagues. In fact, he says, I have to wait for the Marlins decision, but I feel like I should have been in the majors a long time ago.
Confident?
Yeah, seemed to be. He was 6-3 in AAA with an ERA of 3.97.
His what now?
6-3 with an ERA of 3.97 in 19 starts. Very confident, John.
Very confident, man.
And the 1-1 pitch, change up. And Cesar is struck out. I don't think Cesar expected back-to-back changeups. 2 outs here in the second. Let's take a look at our AARP take on today. And we popped the comparison between the two catchers, JT Realmuto and Jorge Alfaro, who each are riding 8-game hitting streaks. Realmuto with 4 homers and 9 RBIs. Alfaro 2 homers and 6 RBIs. And he takes a fastball at the knees. Alfaro here at this ballpark, 9 for 26 in 7 games. That includes a home run and 3 runs batted in. He also blasted a home run here for Colombia during the World Baseball Classic. Right into the Clevelander.
Good spot to be if you're going to hit a home run, huh?
Mm-hmm. He does have a good sinker.
He's got a live arm and he got great movement. I mean, you know, we talked about Jake last night and the movement on his pitches, how great they were. And he even mentioned that to me today. He said he finally feels like he found his sinker. He said it was really working for me last night. And this young man here, you add a few miles per hour on it above Jake's stuff, and if it starts moving like that, it's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
Only thing you can hope for is that he's on a pitch limit.
Well, the Cardinals last year used him in 8 games in the big leagues as a relief pitcher, and there was some thought after that that's what the that's what the Marlins might do. They moved him back into being a starting pitcher. The other thing they were happy about, the Marlins, was his ground ball rate in the minor leagues. Ground ball rate was close to 50%, which I think you can see why with the way that sinker's going.
Yeah, anytime you pitch with a lot of movement on the ball, especially young, it's hard to command. But two, it's hard for the hitters to elevate if he does command it. Over
toward the hole. That's ground ball. Base hit it to left field. A 2-out single for Alfaro. And that brings Pivetta to the plate.
Look where Rivera's playing. Look at him. It's like he's no doubles defense. He's not even in the screen.
Oh, yeah, he was really hard hugging the line.
I saw that the pitch before. Look how close he is to the line. He's a step from the line. Like, kid's throwing 98 miles an hour with movement. I don't think there's going to be many shot down that line from right-handed hitters.
Pivetta takes a fastball for strike one.
I mean, Jorge will take it. Trust me.
Yes, sir.
What do you think Nick's up there thinking right now? Guy's throwing 98 with movement.
I think he's thinking, I'm just going to take a few pitches and see if he can throw a lot out of the strike zone. Or swing at that one. A good swing. 1-2. That one's out to right field, but right at Ortega. And that'll wrap up the second inning. No runs, one hit, and one man left. Phillies left a couple through the first two. We'll go to the bottom of the second here in South Florida. Friday, September 14th, when the Marlins are in town, all tickets purchased through the Theme Nights page will receive a Fanatic mask. Come dressed in one of your favorite costumes. Visit Phillies.com/theme nights to order your tickets and get that mask. There's the mask right there, at least a picture of it. You know, our esteemed PR executive, Greg Castriato, said, boy, I'm glad that the Marvel promo is no longer being used because we kept showing him saying how much of a Marvel fan he was. Well, little did Greg know that we also know he's a fan of dressing up in costumes. And that's what Greg will be wearing, his beautiful wife Melissa, on the night that the Phillies will be hosting a early Halloween party. Greg's coming as Fred Flintstone. What do you think, Johnny?
I'm speechless.
Are you speechless?
Well, yeah, I guess. There's nothing I can say that'd be nice about.
Yes, there is.
Greg in the costume.
About his guns.
Okay, well, there's still nothing I could say nice about Greg in that costume. But just hope like heck he has drawers on underneath that. That's my only concern.
Imagine him in that car, kicking it up with his feet. 2 balls and no strikes to Dietrich.
Fred and Wilma. He looks like he could have grown up back then.
Yeah, he does. Dietrich 1 for 7 with a triple in this series, and that breaking ball sails high, 3-0. Dietrich has been hit by 18 pitches this year, which is tied with Brandon Nimmo and Anthony Rizzo for the National League lead. Got a fastball in there. Three infielders on the right side of the diamond. At the knees, 96 with that pitch from Pivetta. That was awfully close. Ball 4 and a leadoff walk for Dietrich. Yeah, that'll bring Miguel Rojas up.
I think Nick's been unhappy with a couple pitches so far in this game.
Pitch cast presented by PJ Wheelahans. Well, you got to have that pitch.
Yeah, because now in his mind, I'm sure Jorge's saying, come on, El, hey, I think that pitch was there. We got to have that pitch. But, you know, now in Nick's mind, does he think he has to elevate it? If he's not going to get that call, now he has to elevate.
That, I mean, that's a perfectly placed fastball.
And got nothing for it, except the guy jogging to first.
So now Rojas, who is 4 for 7 in this series. And there's a strike. We were talking today in Gabe's office about that play that Rojas made last night, where he was falling to his backside and threw over to first. And
to third, right?
Or to third, I should say. And we were talking about Roman Quinn's play, and somehow we got to Rojas's play just because of the good defensive plays we saw. And his eyes lit up. He said that was an unbelievable play. To the right side, Cesar ventures over and throws across his body in time.
Productive out by Rojas, though, getting a runner over. He tried to hit that hole. Just caught it off the end of the bat, didn't hit it hard enough.
Here's the play we were talking about last night. Rojas, bases are loaded. And Asdrubal Cabrera is thrown out on the force play.
Took a hit away from Scotty. RBI away from Scotty.
Brinson lays off a slider, and it's 1-0. He's had a good homestand since coming back from the minor leagues. 6 for 15 on the homestand, 8 for his last 25 here in the big leagues. Back toward the middle. Got to hurry. Cabrera's got it. And in time, says Tony Randazzo. They may take a peek at that one.
Yeah, that's a hand up.
The ball just wasn't hit hard, and Brinson runs well. Cabrera did all he could.
I think they got him.
And Don Mattingly's going to say to take a look at it.
Tom, we've got another challenge.
Yes, we do. Yeah, he's there before the throw. He stuttered a little bit too before he went to the bag.
Yeah, he's safe.
So this should be overturned. If you had a quicker shortstop, could you have made that play?
I think that's one of those you got to come in and catch it on the run and throw.
Throw on the run.
He set his feet.
I think you're right about that, John.
You know, and we watched Kingery make that play. He's been really good at it. But, you know, this guy's been a pretty good shortstop for a while, too. But, yeah, see how he catches that ball like set and then throw? If he catches it on the run and throws on the run, maybe.
Yeah. And you're right, Scott Kingery has made that play and gotten better with it as it's gone on. Here we go. All right, so he's safe at first, so it'll be an infield hit. And it puts runners on first and third.
Brinson was running back to dugout thinking, all right, I'm 0 for 1. And then, oh, hey, 1 for 1 already today.
And now Austin Dean. Pavetta does not have a strikeout yet, and he is right now in some rarefied air with strikeouts per 9 innings in Phillies history. He has 168 strikeouts and 142 in the 3rd innings so far this year. It's a lot of strikeouts. He's 4th in the National League in strikeouts per 9 innings at 10.72. As Dean takes high. Now, if the season ended today, and honestly, even if he goes the rest of the month, the numbers aren't going to go down that much. He would finish with the 2nd highest strikeout per 9 inning season for the Phillies behind Curt Schilling.
Wow.
Curt in 97 struck out 319 and 254 in the 3rd innings.
Basically with 2 pitches.
Down the right field line, that'll be out of play.
Fastball split. He bought it. Heads up.
He held on.
He held on. Out of the way. It's a catch. That is a catch. We don't need review, Tom. That is a catch. And look at him. He risked it. Probably got a scuff or 2, and he's calling over a young kid to give the ball to. What a gentleman.
Right. He's calling over the smallest of the patrons here.
Oh, that's a nice man right there.
Outside, 2-1.
Yeah, Schill. See, look at that. Gets the ball, took a header, gets the ball.
He could put that youngster in the palm of his hand.
Look at him, how happy he made that young man right there. That's beautiful.
2-1 slider swung on and missed. 2-2.
Yeah, but Schilly came in one day. He said, "Hey, I got a new Rottweiler." I said, "What's its name?" He said, "Slider." I said, "Why would you name a dog Slider?" He goes, "I figured I didn't have one, so I better buy one."
That's funny. That's why Ben named his dog Slider.
Well, Ben couldn't hit the slider.
That's why.
So he thinks right along the same lines as Schill, huh?
On many levels. Over toward third, diving stop. Santana goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get. A run will score, and it's 1-0 Miami. A nice play by Carlos.
Yeah, it's a real good play by Carlos, and you know, think about it. That ball gets through. You have the potential of a big inning. And now it's 1 run, 2 outs. Yeah, full extension by Carlos. Just nothing you can do. You know, he made a good throw, good transfer by Cesar, but Austin Dean just runs too good to turn that double play. But 1 run shouldn't beat you. At least you would hope not.
Fastball upstairs.
Well, that ball gets through. Brinson's probably at third, without question. And you know, now another fly ball. Now it's 2-0. So it's got a run in, but good play by Carlos to keep away from a multi-run inning. Hopefully.
Had a break for the Marlins with replay overturning that call at first base.
Like Nick threw that pitch, the last pitch, and looked back at the mound like something happened. He just looked funny coming off the mound after that last pitch he just threw to Rivera.
Well, there's a couple of things that have happened in this inning. Obviously, the 3-2 pitch to Dietrich, which we showed you, looked like a strike. and then the infield hit. And then right there's what John's talking about.
It's not like, it didn't look like it was where his foot sets on the rubber. It looks like where his right foot drags as he's throwing the ball. But there was something a little clumpy there, Tom.
Little clump of clay.
Maybe.
Check swing by Rivera. And it's 3-0. Three balls and one strike. 3-2.
Have you noticed on this level below us all the TVs that are? I just noticed that today.
I hadn't noticed, but there are a lot of televisions. It looks like each suite has one, and they're smaller suites.
It's interesting.
Runner goes from first. Got a pitch outside, ball 4. Second walk issue tonight for Pivetta, and now he's got Alcantara to deal with, the opposing pitcher.
How'd you like to call like a TV store and say, hey, we need 700 TVs, please?
That TV store would be pretty happy.
Yes, they would. Think they might throw in a free one after 500 or so?
A free one?
All right, Nick, let's go. Get it out here, let Roman lead off, get on base, steal a couple, good to go.
Oh for 2 for Alcantara so far. He swung, and that one was in the glove.
A little tardy. So last year his name was Alcantara.
Alcantara, yeah.
Alcantara, and this year it's Alcantara.
Yep. Swing and a miss. And the inning is over. A run does score, though. One infield hit, a couple walks. On to the third. It's the Marlins 1 and the Phillies nothing. All the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, John, the question is, who were the two Marlins managers in the 2003 season when they won the World Series?
What was that question? Who were the two Marlins managers in the 2003 season?
Yep, when they won the World Series.
They had two managers.
Yes, they did. Roman Quinn will lead things off. I think you're fairly familiar with both of these guys, but one in particular. Alcantara made the last out, so he is taking his time getting warmed up. Roman Quinn, Carlos Santana, Justin Bour are the scheduled hitters. Statcast last night on that catch that Roman made said that the catch probability was 7%. And I said to Roman today, so besides you, who are the other 7% that would have caught that ball? As the first pitch comes in, it's taken low, 1-0.
Billy Hamilton.
He said, well, Billy Hamilton, he thought, and he said Jackie Bradley.
Jack Trout.
He didn't mention Trout, but I'm sure he would have agreed with you on that one. He said all he knows is that he went a long way. Two and 0 to Roman, who's hit in 11 consecutive starts. Pops this one toward the left field line. Long run for everybody involved. And Rojas will put it away. One out here in the third. Celebrate the start of school with the Student Steal. It kicked off this past August 27th. It's a $15 ticket. Plus you get a voucher for something out at Ashburn Alley. Chickies and Pete's Crab Fries, Bull's Barbecue, Tony Luke's, Hatfield Hot Dog and Coke. That voucher is good for $12. Limited quantity of tickets are available. Go to Phillies.com/studentsteal to get your tickets. Carlos lines one to center field. Brinson on the run, and he won't get it. And it's a ground rule double. That is the 25th double of the season for Carlos. He is now 7 for 18 here in the month of September.
And the thing is, he's attacking early, Tom. He's getting the fastball, and he's, you know, it's one thing to be aggressive early in the count, but it's the other thing, you have to make sure it's a good pitch. It seems like when he's getting that first pitch and swinging, it's a good pitch to hit, and he's putting the barrel on the ball. Got a lot of maintenance work going on down there.
Yeah, Bill Welke's cleaning up the home plate area. Bour had a fielder's choice his first time up. And there's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Justin Bour here at this ballpark has 45 career home runs. His last start here was on August 8th. Now that was against the St. Louis Cardinals. Finished 0 for 3 with a walk. One ball and 2 strikes to Bour. And that one's fouled off his foot. At some point, I would think, as this game goes on, if the Phillies do take the lead, then Gabe is going to switch out Kingery for Bour, where Kingery will play short, Cabrera will go to third, and Santana will go back to first.
Let's get that lead first.
Let's get the lead first. Yep. Another one whacked foul.
You see where the infielders are playing. I mean, Rojas is way back. With only 1 out, Carlos can get a really good secondary lead right here. And he's not even like faking to come in. He's just letting him take a big lead.
Little dribbler out toward third. Charging is Rivera, and he throws Bohr out. Santana goes to third. Phillies have their second runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And Asdrubal Cabrera's coming up. Cabrera hit that ground ball in the first inning that turned out to be a 5-6-3 put out at first. Originally it was a 5-6-3 double play, but then replay showed that Rojas was off the second base bag. That one's hit softly left of the mound, picked up by Rivera, and the inning is over. Phillies leave one over at third. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left in scoring position. We'll move to the bottom of the third. It's the Marlins 1 and the Phillies nothing. Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Phillies trail 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. At the top of the order is due up for the Marlins. Rafael Ortega, who grounded out his first time up. Shows bunt, takes a strike, 0-1. Phillies with 73 wins. Trying to get to win number 74 tonight, which would pull them 2 games out of the National League East. Back in 2014, they won 73 games, but they were 73-89 by the time the season wrapped up. 2012, they were 81-81. No balls and 2 strikes. Over to the right side. Bohr will wait for it and just take it over to the bag. 3 unassisted. And here's Starlin Castro. Castro flied to center field his first time up. Fastball, 1-1.
He does have a good fastball tonight. I don't know if his breaking pitches yet have come into play.
Well, he's thrown his slider 10 times and his knuckle curve 6 times. 1-2 to Castro, who has 64 two-strike hits, tied for second in the National League. Swing and a miss. He got him with a slider. Yeah, that's the second strikeout for Pivetta.
Now that one came into play.
Yes, it did.
That's a nice bite to it, down and away from Castro. Look at how tight, really tight.
I have to tell you, sometimes I have a tough time between his curveball and his slider.
I think that was the slider. It just threw it hard with a short amount of break.
Here's Real Muto. Real Muto has hit an 8 straight, as we mentioned before. His 2 home runs yesterday gave him 20 for the season. That's the most home runs by a catcher in Marlins history, but 17 of the home runs have come while he is catching, 3 while he's been playing first base. So I guess technically, statistically,
he does not have the record.
He does not have the record. No balls and 2 strikes to Real Muto. Down the right field line, that'll be out of play.
I got a feeling he'll hit 3 more.
Sometime this week in Pittsburgh. This weekend in Pittsburgh.
He'll hit 3 more by the end of the season, I would think.
I would think you're right. I think Nick wanted that one too. That one looked a little lower than the one to Dietrich. Still in a good spot. Pitch cast presented by PJ Wheelahands. Oh boy.
He's not getting anything at the knees.
Swing and a miss. He got him. He still picked up the strikeout. That's 4 consecutive hitters. He's retired. And he's picked up 3 strikeouts along the way. Looks like he said something to Welke. Ensure all your shipping messages get noticed, and WB Mason delivers the same day when you order by 11:30. Local service, personalized. Who but WB Mason? Well, Nick Pivetta picked up 3 strikeouts so far in the first 3 innings, including retiring 3 of the last 4 hitters with strikeouts. He said something to Bill Welke as he was going off the mound. It was very subtle. And now Rhys Hoskins will lead it off. Hoskins struck out his last time up.
Well, hopefully the second time through, one of our guys got a hit. The other 2 grounded out to third. That's what's a little bit concerning is, you got 2 left-handed hitters in Bohr and Asdrubal Cabrera, who are pull hitters, and they both grounded out to third, but it wasn't like they grounded out into the shifted third. It was normal third base because he was playing in with less than 2 strikes for a bunt.
Well, this kid is, I mean, his stuff is way better than it was in the last outing against the Mets. He walked 5 in the first 5 innings. He only allowed 1 hit. But his stuff is definitely better. He's around the strike zone more, and he just struck Rhys out on 3 pitches. Yeah, that's his 3rd strikeout. So 1 away. Jump to the head of the line, placing a deposit for their 2019 season ticket plan. As an added bonus, 2019 season ticket deposit accounts will receive access to the 2018 postseason. Go to Phillies.com/season deposits for more information. One gone. Nick Williams flied out to right his first time up. This one out to left, not deep. Rojas on the run. Coming in is Dean, and Dean makes the sliding grab. Well, he must have felt like he had a better beat on it than Rojas, because Rojas peeled off.
Yeah, Rojas was running out looking at Dean pretty much the whole time. Peeked back once, but Dean with good closing speed. You can see he's yelling for it. I got it. I got it. That means please peel off so we don't have a collision. Really good play.
Cesar swings at the first pitch and fouls it at the plate. Time now for our Geico quote of the day. Cesar Hernandez on advice from Carlos Santana. Every time you talk to one of your teammates, it's really good. Something Santana told me was to try to remember what I was doing earlier in the season. I was very successful. There have been a few games when I wasn't hitting the ball well, so he just told me to calm down and try to think back to how I was swinging early on. Got to go back to when you're having success, John.
Yes, you do.
Gabe kind of alluded to today that he felt like Cesar was close just with some of his swings yesterday. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to second. And Castro's up with it. And a 1-2-3 inning. So Alcantara through the first 4 has just allowed 2 hits. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-0 Miami. Chevrolet dealers. Led by WB Mason. Who bought WB Mason for fast free delivery? Nobody does it better. It's our last time down here in South Florida. Well, my last time and Murph's last time. John will be heading back to Florida after the season's over. Phillies have 3 against the Mets this weekend, 3 against Miami at home, 7 against the Braves, 4 against Colorado, and of course the 3 against the Nationals. We'll be back here on April 12th of next year, John, and I assure you the roof will be open then.
Should be okay.
We've played the whole year of games against the Marlins, and we have not had the roof open once. 0-2. It's closed, John.
It is closed, Tom.
Balls at 2 strikes to Dietrich. Inside. Did it hit him? It did. That's the 19th time he's been hit by a pitch. That's a shame because he had him 0-2.
I'm thinking Nick thinks he hit him.
They're going to take a look at it. The Phillies are. I don't know if it hit him. It must have hit him in the back foot. Yeah, it must have grazed the top of the foot.
I don't. Guess they think it did.
Yeah. 19 times he's been hit by a pitch.
I don't know where the other 18 hit him, but I'm pretty sure that one didn't hurt him.
No. It's the 91st time he's been hit by a pitch, which is the most in Marlins history. 1 ball, no strikes. Check swing and a foul ball.
Need to get something going, some excitement of some sort.
Very quiet.
Very, very quiet. I'm talking about on our offensive end. And
Rudder goes, pitches hit foul. 2-2, a little hit and run.
didn't we have that with Brinson last night? Was that last night where they deked him at second?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. I mean, you saw there, Dietrich never even looked back, and he was on his way to third base before that ball hit the stands.
Off the hands and a foul ball. And it remains 2-2. Last time out for Pavetta went 5 innings, 5 hits and 1 run, 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. He received a no decision in a 2-1 victory by the Phils. He's got some good stuff here tonight. But as John said, just got to get the offense rolling again. Outside, 3-2. job by Alfaro to make sure that didn't go anywhere.
I would think that that Donnie Mattingly will start Dietrich here. They tried to hit and run earlier in this at bat with him. I think you have a. Might as well, huh?
I would think so.
I would think Dietrich's going right here. Let's have a strike him out, throw him out.
Dietrich does go. Pitch is hit back toward the middle, off the glove of Pavetta, and everybody is safe. I think Nick's a little frustrated with himself on that one. I don't know if they would have had two if he had let it go by. It may not have been hit hard enough. They would have at least gotten one somewhere. It's very hard to tell a pitcher, though, to just let that go.
Yeah, it's instincts, reflexes. Yeah, I think they would have probably gotten Rojas at first.
Yes.
I don't know if they'd have got Dietrich at second before that. But, like you said, it's hard to tell a pitcher who's competitive to have the wherewithal to let it go.
Yeah, no way. I mean, it's just, it's just natural instinct.
Yeah, he probably reminds himself, you know, hey, well, look where they're playing. If he's running, especially if he's running, you know, someone's going to be moving in that direction to cover the base.
Well, now Brinson with runners on first and second. We'll see how Don Mattingly plays this. Brinson did single his last time up, a slow bouncer to short. He's swinging away, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Got Austin Dean on deck. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth.
I mean, I'd assume if Brinson bunted and got the second and third, probably walk Dean, right? To
face Rivera.
Place Rivera and then the pitcher.
Curveball. 2-1. Out towards center field. Roman Quinn is there. Tagging at second is Dietrich. The throw goes towards second. Keep the double play in order. And it'll be first and third with one out. And Austin Dean coming up. After the Phillies are done with this road trip, which concludes this weekend in New York, they'll head home to take on the Washington Nationals for a 3-game series. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Tickets are available by going to Phillies.com. Austin Dean reached on a fielder's choice on a diving play by Santana his last time up and picked up an RBI.
Good at bat by Brinson. Good base running by Dietrich to get to third base with less than 2 outs.
Curveball. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
So not getting the pitch down, not getting the pitch up. I mean, was that a strike? Or?
I guess it was borderline. And a line drive, base hit it to center field. A run scores. Rojas stops at second. It's 2-0 Marlins. 2 RBIs for Austin Dean.
Very impressed with Ortega and Dean in this series. Yeah, they both look like they know what they're doing with a bat in their hands, and that's, you know, that's just a good piece of hitting right here. You know, try to keep everything in the middle of the field, try to stay away from rolling over, hitting a ground ball double play to get out, help the Phillies get out of the inning, and there's nothing you can do. Line drive up the middle, good hit.
Well, now it's Rivera with runners on first and second. Rivera playing third base tonight for Brian Anderson. Don Mattingly said in his pregame chat that he's been trying to get Anderson a day or two because he feels like he is, let me paraphrase, mentally fried. Said he's playing more games now than he's played.
Yeah. And well, you can tell too, his bat's kind of lagging through the zone, and I don't know if the Marlins play tomorrow or not.
They're off tomorrow in Pittsburgh.
So it gives him a couple days off to, and he was supposed to get yesterday off, but JT Riddle hurt his wrist in batting practice, and that forced Don Mattingly to put Anderson in the game and move Rojas over to third or short.
Rick Kranitz out chatting with Nick Pivetta.
Do you think sometimes the pitching coach and the manager, they stay out there and wait for the umpire to walk out and then they break as soon as he gets out there just to?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd like to say, hey, where are those pitches at the knees? How come we're not getting that pitch? But
which is generally a tactic that pitching coaches or managers will use. Rivera walked his first time up. Fly ball to center field, and it's playable for Roman Quinn, who's in good position to throw. And Rojas does not advance. So 2 outs.
How good was that fundamentally by Roman Quinn? Got behind that ball, set up on an angle to catch and throw immediately to third base. Pretty good fundamentals right there by that young man.
You know, it's interesting. We were talking today with Gabe about the outfield defense. Sam Fold handles a lot of the scouting for the outfielders and where they have to stand, and where they, Nick Williams just came in 5 feet with Alcantara at the plate, and he said at the end of the games, the staff, the research staff, the coaching staff, they get a report on where the outfielders have started with a particular at bat and where they eventually finished, to let them know how close they are from a scouting standpoint to having the guys in the right spot. And Roman was saying how helpful it is, to have a lot of that information. He said some of it, it's common sense, but the other part of it is, where I line up gives me the best path to the ball. Now, last night, it was not the case. It was his sheer athleticism that tracked that ball down.
Yeah, he might be one of those guys you could just say, let's just play everyone straight up and go get them.
Yeah. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And Alcantara is retired on strikes for the second time. The Marlins do add a run. They leave a couple. So we're going to the 5th inning with Miami on top 2-0 over the Phils. Take a look at Jimmy Rollins, who spent another day with the Phils. He had some laughs with one of the security guards and some of the coaches. And this young man from Stoneman Douglas High School, chatting with him. There he's laughing with John Maley. And then chatting with J.P. Crawford. Jimmy, when you look at his numbers against certain National League East teams, you realize that he's going to be at the top of the heap against most of them. But against the Marlins, he has the most hits of any opponent in 25 years in the Marlins, 291. He has the second most doubles with 50.
Yeah, we were talking prior to the, well, while the Phillies were taking batting practice, and Fred Flintstone Gregg, he said, look, he goes, that's the second best player in the history of this organization. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what, you're right. And I really believe that Jimmy should be a Hall of Famer. If you look at the shortstops that are in, like compare him to Ozzie Smith. I don't know the numbers, but
Barry Larkin.
Yeah, but I would assume that Jimmy has. I know he has more home runs than Ozzie. Probably has more hits, I would think, than Ozzie. He doesn't have the Gold Gloves that Ozzie won, but it wasn't like Jimmy was a terrible fielder.
No balls and 2 strikes to Alfaro. Ozzie had 2,460 hits. Jimmy has 2,455 hits. Pretty close.
How long did Ozzie play? Ozzie played what? He 80,
Jimmy
81?
played 17 years. Ozzie played 19. And there's a liner off the glove of Dietrich. Headed to shallow right field as Alfaro puts the brakes on. And it looks like the Phillies are going to go to their bench with Odubel Herrera going to be introduced as a pinch hitter for Nick Pivetta. So Pivetta will be done after 4 innings. Well, the Phillies have so many pitchers that, you figure if they can get a little extra offense by having a pinch hitter here, they have enough guys in the pen, including Jared Eichhoff, if they need a long man.
They give that a hit or an error?
It's a base hit. So Alfaro's 2 for 2. And now Odubel 263 on the year, 21 home runs, 65 runs batted in. And he hits that one toward the hole. Snagged by Castro for 1, over to first in time. A 4-6-3 double play. Gabe just told him to hold again. Are they holding again with the play at second base?
I think they've canned that one by now. Yeah, good play by Starlin Castro. Really good relay throw to.
Was Odubel hurt or something, John? He didn't even barely even ran up the first base line.
I thought the ball was going to get through, so I was watching Alfaro.
Roman Quinn hit by that pitch, so he's going to take first base. So the Phillies have a base runner with 2 outs.
That hit him in the foot.
I believe so. We're down in that area.
That would look like it hit a little harder than what Dietrich got hit with.
Here's Santana. Santana has doubled and walked. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
This might be a thing where with 2 outs, Roman Quinn might be a better hindrance to the pitcher if he doesn't steal. As he
just to keep him in his mind.
Yeah, just and you see that first pitch, he's He's going to try to help Real Muto any way he can, and that pitch is sailed.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Now you might see him go.
One ball and 1 strike. The runner goes. Pitch is taken low. Throw to second base is high. And Roman has the base stolen. So he's in scoring position. His 7th steal of the year.
Well, we talked about Real Muto's arm, but he didn't have a good pitch to throw. The ball was down. Thing just sailed on him. And he, you know, you think about it, a catcher with his speed, with Roman's speed, you have to catch, transfer, perfect throw to have a chance to get him. And he has been thrown out a couple times this year, right?
Yep, twice.
But you know, it still takes a perfect throw, perfect transfer, and everything to get him.
Ground ball to first. Dietrich has it.
Smothered that one, didn't he?
Yep, and the inning is over. So the Phils got a hard hit ball by Alfaro to start the inning, but leave another one in scoring position. So we'll go to the bottom of the 5th with a new pitcher. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phils. And the honors for the 27th through the 3rd. J.P. Crawford, the player of the week down at Lehigh Valley. Tyler Vizza, the co-pitcher of the week. Zach Warren, the other one. 3 games, 4 innings, 9 strikeouts for Zach. Congratulations to those guys. Phillies trail at 2-0. And Tommy Hunter will take over as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. That's the only change for the Phillies.
I would imagine Tommy never thought he'd be coming in the 5th inning.
They have used him in early games at times.
Yeah, he has warmed up before in the 4th once, I remember.
Pivetta 4 strikeouts over 4 innings. He allowed 2 runs, both earned. He walked 2, hit 1. By the way, from a minor league standpoint, Lehigh Valley and Scranton are tied at 2. That game's in the top of the 7th inning. Showed you the Clearwater score earlier. They were off to a good start. Lakewood, meanwhile, is also tied at 2 with Kannapolis. Their first home playoff game is this Friday. Ground ball to second base, not hit that hard. And Cesar throws him out. 1 out. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, it's time for the Major League Notebook, brought to you by the University of Maryland, University College. The LA Dodgers are taking every precaution with their all-star closer, Kenley Jansen. Jansen was told by his cardiologist that he should not make the road trip to Colorado because it may cause some issues. Of course, he has been dealing with different heart issues with the Los Angeles Dodgers, so they're saying that the altitude in Denver may cause some additional problems, so he is not going to make the road trip with the Dodgers. They don't want to cause any other problems, and hoping obviously to have him for the postseason. They said when it comes to, heart problems, it's not something you mess around with. He, of course, had a procedure last offseason to help with his AFib, and he's probably going to have the same surgery again this offseason, so they're taking every precaution he will not be in Colorado. And speaking of surgeries, how about the news that came out of Los Angeles today? Shohei Ohtani for the Angels is most likely going to need Tommy John surgery. He had been dealing with the UCL problem for about 2.5 months now. He was rehabbing it. They finally got him back out on the mound last week, and he only made one start, and they said that the problems have come back, and not only that, there's more damage in that UCL ligament than there was when he first went on the DL. So he is most likely going to have that Tommy John surgery. Now, he has been cleared to DH, and he has been doing that, and he'll probably continue to do that until the end of the season, and then they'll probably have surgery at that point.
Yeah, people wonder if they'll have the surgery and if he'll be back just as a hitter at some point next year. Would you just shut down pitching here, John?
I mean, they're out of it. Why don't you shut him down now? Let him get the surgery now, so it's an extra month, an additional month of rehab. You wait till October, till the season's over. Probably to hit, it's going to be, 9 months, probably 7, 8, 9 months before he can hit.
I would think it's at least that.
And then to throw again, it's probably a year.
Yeah, I'm with you though. I would agree with that.
Why wouldn't you expedite the surgery so you can get him back earlier?
Maybe in August next year to hit.
Yeah.
No balls and 1 strike to Real Muto, and it's outside. 1-1.
Never understood that. Yeah, they're going to wait till the end of the season to have surgery. Well, if you're out of it, get it now.
Foul tip, and it's 1-2. Well, I think the Angels will look and see over the next couple of days what's best, and then make a decision. One and two to Real Muto here in the 5th, and he fouls it. Ground ball to third. Santana, another chance. And a strong throw over, and that wraps up the 5th inning. Now, Carlos has looked good over at third base. Nothing across for the Marlins. We go to the 6th inning now, looking for some offense when we get back. for the Phillies lineup. Batting over 300 with runners in scoring position. Consistency at the plate and clutch hits will be the offense the Phils need in their push for the postseason. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Santa's here. We're hoping that he can gift the Phils a run or two here in the top of the 6th inning. By the way, Maikel Franco is back in Philadelphia, and he's getting an MRI. Take a look at that hand and that wrist area, and he will rejoin the team on Friday in New York. And they'll go from there as far as what the docs see. Here's Justin Bour to lead it off. Phillies are being shut out 2-0 as we go to the top of the 6th. They have 3 hits against 22-year-old right-hander Sandy Alcantara. And a pitch low and away off the glove of Real Muto. And it's 1-0. One ball, one strike.
Nice to get our leadoff hitter on one of these innings, huh? Have we had it yet?
The first inning and the last inning.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Santana walked. Now the shift starts. So with Bour up, Rivera stays up the middle. And who was hitting last time they did this? Santana, maybe?
Santana, all the lefties. Every time there was a lefty.
But then the one time Rivera runs over to the left of Castro. Castro moved over to where he's standing now.
Yeah, that is true.
Like they have different hitters where they're. No.
Little dribbler out in front of the plate. Real Muto has it. And he throws Bour out. 2-3 on the putout. Phillies aren't making a whole lot of hard contact aside from Santana's double tonight. Well, we've been talking about the minor league playoffs. The Iron Pigs playing tonight in Scranton and then tomorrow in Scranton. And then Friday night they'll be at Lehigh Valley. That's game 3. And then if necessary, game 4 and 5, 6:35 on Saturday, 5:35 on Sunday. Go to ironpigsbaseball.com to purchase your tickets. There'll be post-game fireworks after each of the home games for the Iron Pigs. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. A high pop-up into shallow center field. Rojas will make the catch. 2 outs. I'll tell you, John, you mentioned there's not a lot of hard hit baseballs, a lot of broken bats.
Yeah. I mean, hey, this kid has good stuff, and yeah, you can see. Yeah, you mentioned his last outing, 5 innings, 5 walks. He's not walking people.
No, he's not.
He's got walked 1 and he's hit a batter, right?
Yep. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Tell you, we definitely need to get him going.
Yep. Outside, 2-1. Three and 1.
Look for something right here and get out in front of one, Reese. Make it a 1-run game. talking to the umpire there?
I think he was. I don't know what he was asking him.
I wonder if that didn't swing, was that a strike? I got this response when I asked that. Well, we won't know, will we? Oh.
And now the 3-2 pitch to Hoskins. And it's hit foul. Remains 3-2. And popped up on the infield. Real Muto is out. So is Rivera. Real Muto threw the mask at Rivera's ankles. And he makes the catch. Another easy inning for Alcantara. We have played 5.5. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Still 2-0 Marlins. Your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Well, the Phillies trail at 2-0 as we say goodbye to South Beach. This is our last game down here. The Phillies will head to New York for 3 against the Mets beginning Friday night.
And you know, you hear people, we talk to people that, you know, they have to win X amount of games against the Marlins and the Mets. You know, one of those games you're going to get DeGrom.
And Syndergaard.
And Syndergaard. 2 out of 3 games you're getting, you know, 2 of the best pitchers in baseball. It's a lot easier said than done. Just look at the records. You don't, you know, you can look at their records all you want, but like this young man right now is pitching a great game. And DeGrom's pitched a great game every outing this year.
Yeah, 25 straight, 3 runs or fewer. Swing at a foul tip. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Momentum is the next day starting pitcher, Tom. And this is one of the rare sports where so many different things that can go into wins and losses.
Amen to that. Dietrich a swing and a miss. That's 4 up, 4 down for Tommy Hunter. First strikeout for Hunter. And now Miguel Rojas.
Little backdoor slider right there. Cutter. Curveball. One of those 3. See how hard it is to hit?
That's a pretty good movement on it.
Do you think at some point, if the crowd stay this quiet, that that they could ask the players, like your walk-up music, can you make it more bouncy to get the people into it?
Why don't you talk to the organist?
We spoke to her today. She said she was going to try to play some country roads.
I don't think she really felt like into it, though.
Well,
over to third, Santana. And he throws out Rojas. 5-3 on the putout, 2 outs. Time now for the Ram Truck Stump the Fence Trivia Quiz answer. All right, John, here we go. Who were the 2 Marlins managers in the 03 season when they won the World Series?
Jeff Torborg started, right?
Jeff Torborg, yep.
And then my old buddy Jack McKeon took over after that.
Your old buddy.
Oldest manager to win a World Series, is that right?
You know that better. I mean, your memory's better than mine with that kind of stuff.
Oh, I just
got a bell.
I got a bell, so maybe he is.
There's a strike to Brinson.
Tell him if the mic was sick.
Look at Torborg. Torborg was 16-22 when Jack McKeon took over.
Yeah, that was A.J. Burnett, right? And Josh Beckett.
Yep.
Was Dempster there then? Or did he leave by then? I might have Dempster maybe.
At 72, Jack McKeon was the oldest manager to win a World Series. John, as you mentioned. So the bell is still in play. That year he took over. He went 75-49. Well, that's a pretty good record, huh? Over toward the hole, back hit by Cabrera. He hesitated for a moment, and Brinson is safe at first. That's his second infield hit. Austin Dean coming up, and he provided us with our Toyota turning point. He's got the 2 RBIs today.
Yeah, and his first one here, great play by Carlos at third base. Just couldn't get the turn on Dean. Little fielder's choice RBI, and then the next one, a line shot up the middle off of Nick Pivetta to score the Marlins' second run, and he's got 2 RBIs, and no one else in this game has another. And that's our Toyota turning point of the game.
Dean takes outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. There's a fastball at the knees, 1-1. Phillies in their half of the 7th inning will have Nick Williams, Cesar Hernandez, and Jorge Alfaro due up. And it's going to continue to be Alcantara. If you're Don Mattingly, you'd prefer it to be Alcantara than your bullpen, based on the numbers the bullpen has put up. Ground ball to second base. And Dean is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Tommy Hunter did his job for 2 innings. We'll head to the 7th. Phil's down 2-0. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. Not a whole lot of offense for the Phillies. They have just 3 hits. Now the Marlins only have 4 hits against Tommy Hunter and Nick Pivetta, but they've gotten RBIs from Austin Dean tonight. And the kid on the mound, Sandy Alcantara, the 22-year-old from the Dominican Republic out of the Cardinals organization. He has allowed 1 hard-hit baseball tonight. Actually, I shouldn't say that. He's allowed 2, because Alfaro's ball off the glove of Dietrich was pretty hard hit. It'll be Nick Williams to lead things off, and Williams takes a strike. And that's the key right there, John. All the first pitch strikes for a guy that has a reputation of being all over the strike zone.
Yeah, and breaking balls. Some of them are breaking balls first pitch strikes.
And then back with 98, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, this might be one of those games where Don Mattingly just turns his back and says, you know, hey, Tim Wallach, let me know if they score a run. I might go get him, but you just want to leave this young man out there.
And a strike 3 call. Boy, it looked like Real Muto brought that ball back. 1 out here in the 7th. Pitch cast presented by PJ Wheelahans. Look where the first 2 are. Oh no, that looked like a pretty good pitch. Cesar shows bunt. It's called a ball. Oh, Real Muto just fired it at the bat boy. He missed it and almost hit him in the face.
Bat boy gave him a nice stare too.
I think that's a different bat boy. Change up, 1-1.
You get into the 7th inning and you've only given up 2 hard hit balls. Look, we know the Phillies can be inconsistent offensively to be nice, but this kid tonight has a lot to do with that.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Hernandez. And he's down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Alcantara. And he now has 5 strikeouts tonight. Oof.
Just disappears. I mean, he's pitching with great movement, high velocity. His off-speed stuff has been really good. Maybe he was right. Maybe he should have been in the big leagues all along.
Alfaro is 2 for 2. Wilson Ramos is out of the on-deck circle to pinch hit. Strike 1. Alfaro now 11 for 23. Say 11 for 28 here at Marlins Park. See if he gets on. Ramos to pinch hit. There's Wilson.
Oh, man.
Real Muto is walking with Alfaro. It's nice of Real Muto to do that, but El Oso would plow him right over. That is the 2nd hitter to be hit tonight for the Phillies.
Yeah, this could 99 in the bicep tricep area. And you know, I think this is one of those things where Gabe doesn't want to announce Ramos yet until he knows that Alfaro's okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's his other catcher. He went down and just had a word with Scott Sheridan. So Ramos will pinch hit. Phillies have now used Ramos and Odubel. Balls and 1 strike to Ramos. Oh, and 2. Conley warming up in the bullpen. Swing and a miss. Ramos strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Alcantara. And the Phillies are retired here in the 7th inning. Time to stretch here in South Florida. The Phils trail it 2-0. Tonight's been about Alcantara, but it's been about Austin Dean.
Austin Dean drove in the only 2 runs of the game, and then he makes this sliding catch. A great play, great concentration. The thing you like about it, too, is he called off his shortstop, so the shortstop can get out of the way. Unbelievable play by Austin Dean, and that's our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
All right, so he has 2 RBIs and that catch. And now Sir Anthony Dominguez will take over out on the mound. Dominguez takes over for Tommy Hunter. Sir Anthony a 3.04 ERA, 63 strikeouts in 47 1/3 innings of work. And he will face Rivera, Alcantara, and then the top of the order.
Yeah, as soon as that 3rd out was recorded by Ramos, bullpen just set down. Conley just set back down, and Donnie's going to throw Alcantara back out there for the 8th.
Well, he's only got 92 pitches. Bill Welke is saying something to Jorge Alfaro, who was saying something to Rivera with Alcantara on deck. I think Jorge is still steaming about getting hit with that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Swing and a miss at the first pitch from Sir Anthony, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Can't feel good.
Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Every time a Phillies pitcher reaches 95 miles per hour or more, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia.
You know, you wonder if Bill Welke told Jorge to, you know,
calm it down with Alcantara on deck.
Well, yeah, he's coming up on deck. Let's not do anything crazy here. I'm sure it ain't going to be a pleasant conversation or a friendly conversation between the two.
3-1. That's a line drive caught by Cabrera. Boy, that ball was drilled.
Wow.
One out here in the 7th inning. And Alcantara is going to bat. There's a strike, 0-1. Phillies are down 2-0. I can't imagine they would retaliate here, even though it is the opposing pitcher who's up. Because they just want to get back in offensively and see if they can do something.
And if you think he did it on purpose, there's always a time and a place, and this ain't the time.
The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes, 2 outs. Third time he has struck out tonight. It's the only thing he hasn't done well. I think Alfaro was talking that entire at bat. It looked like his mouth was moving.
You see Alcantara talk about how that ball's moving from Sir Anthony. You know, good hitters tell the other hitters.
That's right. Passing it on. Ortega takes strike 1. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Phillies will have Quinn, Santana, and Bohr. They're half of the 8th inning. Ground ball to second base to his left, Cesar. He's up with it. And a pretty easy inning for Sir Anthony Dominguez. Tommy Hunter and Dominguez have both done their job out of the bullpen. Now it's time for a little offense as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEFF-NOW or visit jeffersonhealth.org. Don Mattingly's made a change or two, but it's not to the starting pitcher. Alcantara will continue. He has changed up his outfield defense. He's put Sierra in right field. And then Logan Galloway is in left field, with Roman Quinn leading it off.
Did Ortega make too many good plays out there?
What he was, why he's making that change. Over toward first, a foul ball.
Double barrel action down there in the Marlins bullpen.
Up and away, 2-1. Yeah, they get the lefty Conley. I think it's Bear Claw. It is Bear Claw.
Yeah.
3-1 to Roman Quinn. At ball 4, so Roman Quinn draws a leadoff walk here in the 8th inning. Last time Quinn was on, we take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS. And he was a little slower than his average on that. And here comes Don Mattingly. So Mattingly's going to make a pitching change. His teammates come over. Alcantara's teammates come over to congratulate him. He's responsible for Roman Quinn at first base. So a pitching change with Justin Bour scheduled to come up. We'll be back after this. Games left. Make your way to Citizens Bank Park as the pennant race heats up. Go to Phillies.com to get your tickets. You know, the Phillies have those games the last 3 days of the season against the Atlanta Braves. Got some matchups against the Washington Nationals. And, of course, these Marlins. Sandy Alcantara's done after 7+, 3 hits. He walked 2, hit 2, struck out 6. And he's responsible for Roman Quinn over at first base.
Yeah, now the goal is to get him a no decision. And, you know, I look, you don't care who comes in after this kid leaves, because this kid was fantastic, but this is Carlos the stronger side. I think you're turning it. You're giving us a shot right here.
A fastball at its 0-1 from Conley. Marlins bullpen has the highest ERA in franchise history for a season at 5.27. They're last in the National League in ERA. Fouled away, and it's 0-2.
He put a good swing on that, didn't he? Man.
Up and away.
If they have plans of Derek Dietrich playing first base for him next year, he's got some work to do over there.
Footwork.
Well, footwork. He hit a line drive at him and he missed it, and grounder yesterday and went past him, right?
1-2 is lined out to second. Now they're going to double up Roman Quinn. Boy, the Phillies just are not crisp. So a double play, 2 outs, and 4 will be brought back, and Jose Bautista will come up as a pinch hitter.
Well, the last thing I'm sure Roman Quinn was told was freeze on a line drive, and he didn't freeze, and he got caught. You know, you're down 2. You know, it's nothing wrong with station to station right now. Look, if that ball gets past Castro, if it's over Castro's head, he'd still go first to third probably.
Yes.
But
Jose Bautista will pinch hit. Bautista hitting .197 with 11 home runs, 43 runs batted in. 2 for 14 as a pinch hitter. One ball and 2 strikes to Bautista. Out of play, and it remains 1-2. Out toward right center field. That's pretty well hit. Brinson on the run into the alley, and it's a 1-hop off the wall. Bautista will get to second base, and he's there standing. So pinch hit double for Jose Bautista.
how big now that play with Roman Quinn at first base. Good Lordy. You're looking at a 2-1 game with a runner on second, 1 out. He told me today, he said, I better start getting some hits so I can get some more at-bats. And lo and behold, off a hard throw, and Adam Conley rips one into the gap in right center for a double. Conley's out. Asdrubal Cabrera has to go in and get his other helmet.
So a pitching change here at Marlins Park as they'll bring in the right-hander. Phillies down by 2 with a runner at second when we get back. Your experience to catch every moment this season. Get the Phillies home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking and game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Kyle Bearclaw 0-5 this year, an ERA of 4.11. He did assume the closer's role at one point, but that didn't go well. Let's hope this doesn't go well. Asdrubal Cabrera batting left-handed with Bautista at second base.
Tom, it only takes one swing.
One swing, and he's had a couple big ones in this series, John.
Yep.
Now the first pitch is in there. It's 0-1. Bearclaw was red hot earlier this year, but like a lot of the pieces to the Marlins bullpen, once August 1st rolled around, his numbers started to decline. Rhys Hoskins is on deck. And a line drive base hit into left center field. Bautista's around third. He's heading for home. Cabrera will hold up at first. It's an RBI single. The Phillies are on the board. And it's a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, there's your shift for you, but that's a great piece of hitting by Asdrubal Cabrera. You know Bearclaw wasn't going to give him anything to pull. Remember, he got to those pitches inside yesterday, hit a double to right and a home run in the second deck to right. So they were thinking, you know, if you're going to beat us, you got to hit the ball the other way. And a good piece of hit right there by a veteran ball player.
Yeah, now the double up of Roman Quinn is magnified even more.
Well, until Rhys goes deep here.
All right. Scott Kingery comes on to pinch run for Cabrera over at first. But Hoskins 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. He's popped out. And a first pitch fastball at 94. One pitch is fouled back. He got a good pitch to hit. It's 0-2.
Yeah, he did. And Bearclaw slide stepped on him, tried to trick him.
Phillies got a run back here in the 8th. They have a run on 5 hits overall. Swing and a miss. He went after one out of the strike zone, and the inning is over. Rough night for Rhys. 3 strikeouts. Phillies do get a run on the RBI single by Cabrera. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 2-1. Marlins on top. Tomorrow for football night in Philadelphia. Get ready for the Eagles-Falcons season opener with us. Starting at 5, it's Philly Sports Talk, followed by a special edition of Quick Slants. And then the best football analysts in town take you up to kickoff on Eagles pregame live. Phillies trail at 2-1 as Sir Anthony Dominguez begins his second inning of work. Dominguez worked a 1-2-3 7th inning. Bautista remains in the game at third base. Kingery remains in the game at shortstop. Santana moves from third over to first. Swing and a miss. And there's out number 1. Second strikeout for Dominguez. Pitching's done its job tonight.
Oh, it absolutely has. And, Nick, look, you understand Gabe's thinking and pinch hitting early. You'd love to see Nick stay in the game and get more innings in, but, look, we have an off day tomorrow. Tommy goes 2. Sir Anthony is going to go 2, right? Probably.
Thought, yeah.
And, but you got an off day tomorrow, so they'll be ready for New York Friday. And you had to try to score. I mean, you can see, the eyeball test that Alcantara was pretty good. So you had to take your chances when you could. You guys met with Gabe. He had a full sweatsuit on.
Yeah.
With 2 shirts underneath it. And I said, what are you doing? This is Miami. He said, I just got done working out. I like to sweat.
Three and 2. Inside, ball 4. Real Muto draws the 1-out walk. Celebrate the 2019 New Year and join Phillies players Rhys Hoskins and Scott Kingery, along with the Bull, Scott Palmer, and the Philly Fanatic on a Phillies vacations trip to paradise. January 8th through the 13th. It's an unforgettable 5-night vacation to the Bahamas. Space is limited and filling quickly. Go to Phillies.com/PhilliesVacations for more information. Derek Dietrich takes a strike, and it's 0-1. He has scored both runs tonight. Good changeup.
How do you like that? He scored 2 runs. He's had 3 at-bats and hasn't put a ball in play yet. Walk, hit by pitch, and a strikeout.
Right. Hector Neris starts to loosen in the pen. Ground ball to second base. Cesar bobbles it and gets the out at first. Up to second base goes Real Muto. 4-3 on the putout. I don't know if they would have turned 2. they would have gotten the lead runner.
Yeah, that's the bigger thing is, you know, make an extra base, score a run, not a single. It's like the ball just took one hop up on Cesar, just hit the heel of his glove, bounced up on him.
It would have been close at first if he would have made a clean throw.
Yeah.
Miguel Rojas is 1 for 3. He bats with a runner at second base and 2 men down. Had a swing and a miss at the first pitch, the slider, and it's 0-1. And 2. Swing and a miss. He got it with a breaking ball, and that wraps up the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, 1 man left in scoring position. Last chance for the Phils as we come back in the top of the 9th inning. No 1-run game.
One is said and done. Well, let's say goodbye to Miami and off to New York for the Phils, a weekend series after an off day tomorrow. It all starts on Friday. Aaron Nola and Steven Matz will take the ball. 7 o'clock start on that one. Saturday at 7 as well. Zach Eflin versus Noah Syndergaard. And then on Sunday at 1 p.m., Vince Velasquez and Jacob deGrom will be the pitchers in that series. But guys, I'm telling you, this one's not over yet.
Well, Murph, I hope so, because the Phils, there was a lot of excitement in the clubhouse today watching the Red Sox and the Braves game. The Phils know that this was a prime opportunity for them to pull within 2 games, and they've got 1 inning to go to try to get some runs against Drew Steckenrider, and he delivers outside to Williams. It's 1-0.
Nick might tie this baby up right here.
I think we'd all take it, John.
Absolutely.
Nick is 0 for 3 tonight. Flied out twice, struck out. And he hits one back toward the middle.
Better
Castro
carry.
to his right. Following the ball game, Michael Barkad, Ricky Metallico, and Corey Seidman are standing by on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies postgame live. Well, they'll talk about something that we've talked about a lot during the course of this year, particularly since the All-Star break. The lack of Phillies offense in this ball game. Talk about Alcantara and what he did. Cesar takes strike one. Two and two to Cesar. Hernandez has struck out twice tonight. He's 0 for 3. Three and two.
Base hit, ball 4. I can see a long base hit.
Outside, ball 4. Cesar draws a walk. The tying run is at first as Jorge Alfaro is coming up.
Yeah, he's got 2 hits, does Jorge, and he also got a little bit of the red one, Tom, when he got hit in the arm with the pitch. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it's a good time to hit a 2-run homer.
Alfaro just missed that one, fouled it off to the right. Doing Cousins out of the on-deck circle. Where he's looking at that bat.
Hey, man, when in doubt, get another.
I was thinking the same thing. Two. That one's out toward right field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. And now the tying run is at second base. I guess we saw why Sierra's out there. That arm.
Wow.
He just let that baby fly.
Yeah, but here we go.
So first and second with 1 out. Cousins was out of the on-deck circle. And now it's Pedro Florimon who's going to come in to pinch hit. I think the thought was if there was 2 outs and a runner at first, it would be Cousins because of the home run threat. Now maybe a little different approach with Florimon. Juan Nieves out to give a scouting report. Well, the good thing about the Phils is that they have good speed on the base paths. I mean, Alfaro obviously a catcher, but he can run.
Yes, he can. That's probably why you're not seeing J.P. Crawford out there pinch running.
Well, the other part of it too is that
we don't have a catcher.
we would have to have Florimone or Santana
would have to catch.
Or Kingery. All those guys have been talked to at one point. Obviously, Santana was a catcher. Florimone is the emergency catcher. Ramos has already been used as a pinch hitter. All right, so here's Florimone. Steckenrider strikes out more righties than lefties. His strikeout percentage against right-handers is 34%. 27 against lefties. He also walks more lefties. That pitch outside, which we saw with Cesar. His walk percentage is way higher against lefties. He walks lefties 13% of the time, righties 5.5%. 1 ball and no strikes to Florimone. 2 balls, no strikes.
You got to be selective here. You got to make sure it's the one you can handle. Can't give him an out here 2-0. I'm not saying don't swing, but I'm saying get a good pitch you can be aggressive with.
It looked like he was taken all the way on that. A fastball to run the count 2-1. Three balls, 1 strike. He is really missing arm side, isn't he, John?
Yeah, and I think that's probably why he walks more lefty. I guess righties, because of the hitter there. He knows he has to try to hone it in back over the plate.
Three, 3-1 fastball is swung on a miss, so it's 3-2.
You saw where Real Muto was setting up too. It's almost right underneath Florimone's hands, just to make sure Steckenrider, threw the ball through the strike zone instead of just letting him up and away.
3-2 is fouled away. We'll do it again. Roman Quinn is next up. And again, the 3-2 pitch. Fouled back. Hernandez at second base, Alfaro at first. Cesar walked. Alfaro picked up his 3rd hit of the night. And now all of a sudden he's not missing.
Yeah, who'd have thought he could throw 5 in a row?
And it's 1 fastball after another too.
Yeah, you'd think at some point that Pedro would have him timed out pretty good.
Here comes the 9th pitch of this at bat. Swing and a miss. Got it with 96 miles an hour. 2 outs. It's the first time, it seemed anyway, that he got a pitch in.
Yeah, everything else is running to his arm side, and he couldn't get anything in. And then as soon as he, you think he's going to go away, he goes up and into Florimone, perfect location. I mean, would it have been a strike? We don't know, because it's sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But you had to be aggressive there and swing, and anything close. You got to Roman make up for that base running error, hopefully.
Swing and a miss at the first pitch. It's 0-1. He was going for the yard.
Don't need a homer.
Inside, 1-1. The small crowd that's here, they wanted that pitch.
Yeah, they're pretty upset.
It's the loudest they've been all night. One and two. Another big swing by Roman.
Come on, Roman. Rein it in right here. Base hit. Contact.
Roman is 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch and he's walked. Another 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. We'll have to wait. His Steckenrider turns back towards second.
Hey, here's where they're guys on first and second have to get a big secondary lead, because if Roman hits the ball to the right or left of an infielder, you can't let him get an easy force by not getting a good secondary lead. There's good trouble throwing him out.
It was a bit high. It's 2-2.
If he hits a ball to the right of Rojas and Rojas has to go backhand, Cesar needs to beat that throw to third.
And Alfaro needs to get out past the cutout a little bit at first.
Because you're not going to throw Roman out if you have to move 2 or 3 steps either way.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tying runs at second base. Ball's popped foul and out of play. Seems like he's found the strike zone with his fastball, John.
Yes, he has.
At least the inner half of it.
Man, this is where, you know, if you're Roman, it just you've got to protect all 17 inches right now.
Real Muto asks for time. Well, we're all set to go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another foul ball by Quinn. But he is pumping 96, 96, and now 97.
Yeah, it seems like he's honed it in as far as his command. He's not throwing everything up and away to lefties.
Swing and a miss. Roman Quinn down on strikes, and the Phillies miss a golden opportunity to pull within 2 games of the Atlanta Braves as they lose tonight 2-1 to the Miami Marlins, who have won the series here in South Florida. Well, 1 game the Phillies hit. The other 2 games they did not hit. And that was the story of tonight's ball game. It wasn't about the pitching. They got good pitching. Our Chevrolet player of the game is Sandy Alcantara. 7+, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And he picks up his 2nd victory of the season. Our W. Mason deliveries of the game. Well, Austin Dean turned out to be the only real run producer they needed tonight.
Yeah, that you know, it's at one point we thought he was going to be the only one that brought in a run. Great play by Santana, though. Keep that ball in the infield, but the fielder's choice scores a run for Austin Dean, and then